You open your eyes, but it doesn't feel like waking up. It feels like you're surfacing from a dream you never chose, a role you were handed long before you were old enough to say no. There's a weight pressing on your chest, not fear, not sorrow, something quieter, something that feels like truth left unspoken. The dreams that once lit a fire in you now feel foreign, like distant echoes from a life you unknowingly abandoned. You traded your inner fire for acceptance, your wonder for safety, your time so others could remain comfortable. And now, when you look in the mirror, you don't see someone who's living. You see someone who has learned to survive. But I have forgotten how to live. You smile, you nod, you perform your part. But beneath it all, there's a whisper rising. Soft, but impossible to ignore. This is not the life you were meant to live. You pretend not to hear. You keep scrolling, keep busy, keep waiting for that mythical day you'll finally feel whole. But one day is how we bury ourselves while we're still breathing. And now, you hear the whisper again. This time, it's clearer, louder, not to wound you, but to wake you, because the pain inside you isn't weakness. It's your soul remembering who you were before the world convinced you to forget. Wake up from illusion. So, just keep scrolling, not because you care about what you see, but because silence sounds louder than noise. You be busy. You laugh at things that aren't funny. You work, not for a purpose, but for pleasure. You survive every day inside a life that no longer suits you, and it may never have been appropriate. You tell yourself everything is fine. Everyone else is doing it. Same. Pretend. So why not you? But the whisper hasn't left. It lingers below the surface, a quiet rebellion in your chest. And then, without warning, something broke. Maybe it's the death of someone you thought was permanent. Maybe it's betrayal, sharp enough to split your identity in half. Or maybe nothing dramatic. Just woke up and realized you no longer recognize your own reflection. Whatever it is, conical spelling. Give. For the first time, you see that you have lived sleeping, alternative implementation of being, obey instead of asking, instead of survival of feeling. You were taught to follow, to play safe, to call stability success and obedience wisdom. But no one ever taught you how to be a good person, living. And now you understand, you don't have forever. You weren't even there then. You have this breath, this fragile, flickering moment. Your second life begins the moment you realize you just get one. The urgency to live real life. And when the illusion finally fades, something changes inside you. You stop being afraid of failure, because failure, at least, means you tried. What scares you now is what goes to waste remaining. Wasted days you can never buy back. Love you never give. Words you never said. The dreams you let rot in silence. You stop asking for permission to be yourself. You stop sorry for wanting more than survival. You realize no one is coming to save you. No one will give you your life. There will be no perfect moment. There is no final warning. Just this, the ordinary, the sacred, the fleeting right now. And suddenly, you feel the urgency. It's not panic, it's clarity. A certain and intense knowing that this is it. Life yours is going on, with or without your full presence. Nietzsche once asked, what if you had to relive this very day again and again for eternity? Friends scream? Or will you whisper, thank? It is a brutal kind of beauty, perception. This is reflected in every choice, that every moment is a gift of a test. And nothing, not love, not time, not even breath, was promised. Most people wait until the pain becomes unbearable before they wake up. But you are waking up right now. Not because you're ready, it's because you no longer pretend that you have time. The tragedy of obedience. And if you're honest, you are not taught to live. You have been trained to comply. From the moment you can say, They give you a script. Learning is difficult. Be polite. Find a job. Marry. Don't ask too many questions. Follow the map, even if it leads you somewhere you never wanted to go. They don't teach you how to listen to your soul. They taught you how to keep it quiet. Because society does not foster greatness, it creates obedience. It praises you for following the rules, because of coloring within boundaries, for being what they are comfortable with. And so you learn how to do it, to play a role, to smile when you're tired, to achieve things you don't care about, people who will never understand you. You build your life around your appearance and call it a success. But deep inside, something aches. Noiseless, no drama, just a quiet feeling that this can't be all there is. Because of the life you're living, it is not chosen, it has been inherited. Approval program. And still, you have to live with it. You stay in empty places when you go out. You betray your own fire just to avoid other people's objections. But this is the truth no one wants to say. The people you are hurting yourself to please, they won't be there for your funeral. They will not carry your regrets. They won't even remember the dreams you gave them to keep them comfortable. So why continue performing? Why keep dying slowly in a life you never felt like you were starting out with? Freedom is not comfortable. You can paint the cage gold, you can hang photos in my heart as another. You can call it stability, but a cage is still a cage. What about freedom? It's not soft, it's not easy. It doesn't come wrapped in peace of mind. Freedom means enjoying full responsibility for your life. Every choice. Every time there is silence. Every time you speak when your soul is screaming, do not. That's what scares most people. Not failure. Even not death. But the scary truth is that no one else was at the controls. There is no one to blame. There's no one to save you. Only you. And the time you've been given slips out of your hands with every breath. You think to yourself, not yet, later. Maybe next year. You convince yourself there's still time, but time can't wait. It doesn't ask if you're ready, it just moves, silent, non-stop. Nietzsche warned, if you do not face death consciously, it will find you in the form of regret. And regret, don't attack all at once. It crawls, it whispers, it grows in the gap between who you are. What kind of person do you want to become? There are many people alive and physically, but the spirit is lost. They decorate their habits, learn polish their personality. But what about inside? They are gradually disappearing. Because of real freedom requires courage. The kind of courage that breaks stereotypes, shit expected, and dare to say, this is not the life I choose to die for. The silent death of a life not lived. Regret doesn't come like a storm. It seeps in like a cold mist, quiet, unnoticed, until one day you wake up and are surrounded by it. You don't lose your life in a single moment. You lose it slowly. A dream deferred here, a truth was swallowed there. A maybe someday then becomes never. However, life still seems normal. The bills have been paid, birthdays were to be honored, you smile in the photo, but behind it all, something is missing. A heavy feeling rose in your chest. You smile, but your eyes don't smile. You are surrounded by people, but you feel very lonely. This is not sadness. This is not depression. This is the slow death of an unlived life. And it doesn't scream, it whispered, especially at night, when the noise disappears and there's no one left to pretend anymore. Did you hear that? You can do more. So you roll, you drink, you bury it in work or busyness. But no matter how loud it is, the world can understand the words that whisper grew louder and louder. Because regret isn't about what you did, it's about what you're too scared to do. Nietzsche did not write to console you. He doesn't give you a philosophy to ease the pain. He offered it as an example, not to flatter you, but to scare you awake. Because sometimes fear is the only thing stronger than habit. And is it a habit? living killing more people than death can. Death leaves no funeral. The first death does not come with a funeral. No flowers, no funerals, because no one notices except you. It happened in silence. The moment you realize you've spent years breathing but never truly lived. You see it in the reflection you can't lie any longer. In the dreams you remain buried in, your voice was silent to be accepted. In the fire you let yourself die just to be safe. That's when death first came. Lightly. No prior notice, but it cannot be changed. And in that silence, in that private collapse, something else was stirring. You are not reborn as a new person. You don't become perfect. You can't suddenly shine with certainty. You become real, not polished, not a compliment which is real. For the first time you stop to clap, you stop performing, you stop asking the world who you are allowed to be, and instead you begin the silent work of becoming, not to impress, not for success, but simply to live. Deeply honest, no regrets, and that's when your second life begins. Your second life. Living a second life will be painful, not because you did wrong, but because you did the right thing in the end. You will be misunderstood. Friends, once in love, may move on, not for cruelty, but because of you, the truth threatens their comfort. The moment you stop trying, you start to shine. And not everyone wants to stand in that light. Some will resent you, not because of what you did, but for daring to become what they are too afraid to become. But let them feel uncomfortable. You're not here to be friends. You're not here to fit in. You are not a decoration in someone else's story. You are the flames, and fire doesn't apologize for burning. Yes, you will lose things. The roles you played, the masks you wear, the version of you that made everyone happy but still kept you hollow. And grief will come. You will mourn the parts of yourself you have lost. You will remember the safety of pretending. But what you find, worth everything you lose. Because in the ruins of your own being, you begin to discover you have always been, not the version shaped by fear, but one trained in truth, unedited, unfiltered. And this second life? It's not about comfort. That's coming home to yourself. Choose to live, not just exist. There will be pain. There will be suspect. Some days you will question everything, but one thing will change forever. Don't pretend anymore. No more smiling in the midst of pain. No more nodding when your heart says no. No more shrinking to fit into the life that never built your soul. Because once you wake up, you can't go back to sleep. If you know you only have 1 year left, really know it, you won't keep quiet to stay polite. You will not postpone the dreams that haunt your silence. You will say important things. You'll love it like it's the last time. You will leave places that make you forget your name. You will lame. Don't apologize for being alive anymore. Your second life doesn't begin when circumstances change. It started when friend changed. When you decide, enough to survive, enough waiting, enough to ask for complete permission. You don't start out as a perfect person, but a true last one. Bruises, not perfect, but still awake. Because living doesn't happen when life gets easier. It happens when you choose truth over comfort, presence over performance, and fake pretend excessively. You only have one life, a fragile, flickering miracle. And it's slipping through your fingers while you wait for the right moment. But this is the right time. Not when they understand you. Not when the fear disappears. Not when the world makes space for you. Currently. So stop rehearsing. Stop waiting for permission to feel alive. Stop believing that you need to be ready before you start. Tell the truth you've been holding back. Write down the words you're afraid to say. Leaving the room makes you withdraw into yourself. Call someone you love. Move away from the version of yourself that is only created to please. Say no when it makes you lose your peace. Say yes when your soul brightens. Take risks, even if your voice shakes, because life doesn't wait. It won't stop because of your fear. It won't slow down until you feel certain. It moves, quietly, continuously, and if you don't live with it, you will lose it. Your second life begins as soon as you stop pretending that I have time. So ask yourself, right here, right now, if today was the only day you were guaranteed, would you still breeze through it? Do it. Narrow it down, or will you finally choose to live fully, freely, without having to apologize? Thank you for watching Echoes of Thought. If this echoed something inside you, don't stop here. Subscribe, explore more, and stay with us on this path of inner clarity. Life isn't something to chase, it's something to fully live. Let what's real unfold naturally. Share your thoughts or suggest a topic below. Let grow a space of stillness and depth together. See you in the next video.